Hello and welcome to the podcast Listen the Voice of Truth. In this, I will tell you the experiences of my life with God and the things that I live by every day. Enjoy the session.
I wanted to tell you about this fine incident that happened with me like a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to record it, but I couldn't. But it's better late than never, so now here it is. One day in the afternoon, I had to go out of my house for some work. It was mid April and it was hot. I covered myself up. I wore everything. I wore my helmet. I wore my mask. I put on my sleeves and I put my glasses on and I just went out for my work. I don't usually care about how much heat it's out there, but I just focus on if something needs to be done in the house, it needs to be done no matter what. No matter what situation I have to face, no matter what weather I have to face. I don't care. I just go out. As I headed out, a couple kilometers away on the bridge, I saw a truck just broken down. I don't know what the problem with it was, maybe the differential broke down, but I saw the two drivers in the truck were sitting under the truck. As it was just afternoon and the sun was right above the head, the shadow was cast directly under the truck, and they had no choice but to sit directly under the truck, waiting for some help to arrive maybe. But as I saw them and I passed right by them, I heard the voice of the Lord say that get them water, they don't have water. I questioned within myself, should I go? Am I just thinking this because it's hot and something like that? But I just heard the Lord. I just said, no Lord, it's you. I'll just go and get them some water. I went to the nearest shop that I could go in and bought 2 bottles of water. I came back to them, and as I was coming back to them, I was planning how I'm going to share the gospel with them, how I'm going to share Jesus with them. I was getting a bit excited. Just by the thought that I'm going to share Jesus with somebody made me feel happy and excited. I was planning my words. What am I going to say to them? How am I going to start? How am I going to fill in? How am I going to bring Jesus to the conversation? Eventually, I reached that place, and first of all, I asked, Bhaiya, do you have water? He indicated with his head, no. Then I got off my two-wheeler and I just gave them one of the bottles I got. Their face lit up. I don't know since when they were working or since when they were stuck there and for how long they ran out of water, but now that they saw that they had water, they were happy. And as I was about to speak and share Jesus with them, the supervisors came in and they just said thank you and they went to them. And I was not gonna wait for them to come back that I may share Jesus with them, so I just went on. And as I just went on my way, I was having this guilt inside me that I could not share Jesus with them, that I could not share the gospel with them, that I wanted to do something good to them, but I could not do that because whatever the reason may be, but that I could not do that. You tell me, did I not plan to do good to them? Was me feeling guilty a good thing to feel? Was I supposed to feel guilty? Was I supposed to feel bad within me that I could not share the gospel with them? I was just on my way and these feelings were just eating me up from within. I could not think of what work I was supposed to do, but I was just thinking that I just did not share the gospel with them. I just did not share Jesus with them. How bad am I? I should have shared the gospel with them. I should have shared Jesus with them. And this feeling was just eating me from within. And as I was just thinking this, God spoke to my heart. Didn't I ask you to love them? Didn't I ask you to love your neighbor as yourself? Didn't I ask you to love one another as I have loved you? I sought myself and I said, yes, I did that. But Lord, I did not share the gospel with them. I did not share you with them. I don't even know if anyone will ever tell them about you. But I had an opportunity and I did not. He said again, didn't you love them? Didn't I command you to love them as I have loved you? And then I said again, but I know, Lord, but I just did not share the word with them. I just did not share the gospel with them. Whatever good deed I did was of no use. It went to waste straight ahead. And then God spoke again. Didn't you love them? Didn't you keep my command? And then I thought that yes, I did. And the moment I thought this, God said, then that's enough. I gave you a command to love your neighbor as yourself, to love one another as I have loved you. And in this moment, you have done so. You have kept my command. And then as I was about to think that I did not share the gospel with them, God spoke to my heart again, telling me what the truth was. He said, I've commanded you to love them. Loving somebody is not you sharing the gospel with them. Loving somebody is not you sharing my name with them. Sharing the gospel, sharing Jesus with somebody is not equivalent to love, not in its whole format. Loving someone means to do something good for someone intentionally. He highlighted the fact that you went 2 kilometers ahead, went 2 kilometers back again so that you may come back from the diversion 1 kilometer back to them, and then give them the water they needed, and then be on your way. You were intentional about helping them out. You were intentional about doing good to them. You did not expect anything back from them. You did not expect anything in return. You just obeyed my voice. I said, go and give them water. They needed water. You obeyed. You gave them water. You loved them. That's it. Yes, my commandment says, go and preach the good news to all creation. Tell them about the good news of Jesus. Tell them about the kingdom of God is at hand. But that does not mean that sharing that with people means to love them. There's a difference between loving them and sharing the gospel with them. Loving them is not whole of sharing the gospel with them. As I was just in my feelings, God kept my heart. God kept my feelings. They were human feelings and He did not discard them. They were my feelings. Yes, they were silly feelings, but God did not discard them. He was there with me. He counseled me. He helped me through those feelings, embraced those feelings, processed those feelings that I could get over them. He counseled me. He ministered to my heart. He spoke to my heart for those feelings. And when I finally understood what He wanted to speak to me, and when I was calm, and then He spoke what He wanted to say. And let me share you what He disclosed to me on that very day. I was thinking that sharing the gospel with someone means loving them. But at that moment, as I was thinking to myself, God said, love them for the sake of loving them, and share the gospel with them for the sake of sharing the gospel with them. There are two different commandments that I give you. One, John 13:34, love one another as I have loved you. And Mark 16:15, go and preach the gospel to all creation. One does not mean the other. If you love someone, just love that person. And what does love mean? It means to be intentional about the welfare of someone. It means to be intentional about doing good for someone. Even if it costs you, even if it takes you burden, even if it means that you have to go and walk an extra mile with that person, that is your love for that person. You have to be intentional about loving someone. And the other thing is to share the gospel to all creation. Yes, share the gospel with whoever you can. Share the gospel whoever receives it. Share the gospel with every opportunity that you get. But if you do an act of loving someone just to share the gospel, your act of love means nothing, because the purity of the act of love is now adulterated with a task that you wanted to fulfill. That I am doing good for someone because I have a personal agenda in my heart. That I am doing good for someone because I want to share the gospel with them. I bought this water for you so that I can complete my task of sharing the gospel with you. How cheap is that? That I'm doing good for someone solely for the purpose that I can share Jesus with them. There is absolutely no problem in sharing the gospel or Jesus with them. But using the act of love just to get an opportunity to share the gospel with them is not love. If your focus is love, your action will just indicate love. But if your focus is your personal agenda, no matter how good of an act you do, it will never be considered love. It will only be considered as lust. A lust that you want to fulfill your tasks. A lust that you just want to increase the number to how many people have you shared the gospel with. Yes, people do that. People keep account to how many people they have shared the gospel with. And I'm not blaming anyone, but probably most of them do this, that they initiate with an act of love just to share the gospel with them. And trust me, I was one of them. But I thank God that I could not share the gospel with them because the Lord opened this for me. He told me the difference of love and lust. It's not love if you have an hidden agenda behind it. But it's love if you're solely doing it for the purpose of someone's welfare and are intentional about it. Love your neighbor as yourself, and love someone for the sake of loving someone, not for the sake of sharing the gospel with them. Love someone to love someone, and share the gospel with someone to share the gospel with that one. Don't mix the two. Don't use one for the other. Don't adulterate one command just to fulfill the other command. There's a very thin line between love and lust. Identify it if it falls in love or lust. No matter how good the act is, but if there's a hidden agenda that you personally want to fulfill behind it, if you want to use the act of love as a smokescreen so that you can carry out your hidden agenda from it, trust me, it is no longer love because it has been adulterated. It's no longer pure. It's no longer love. Love that is adulterated, that is perverted, is no longer love. It's called lust. Love them. Don't lust. Love them as Jesus loved you. Love them. as you love yourself. Yes, take the gospel to the ends of the earth, to all the creation there is, but love them for the sake of loving them, and share the gospel with them for the sake of sharing the gospel with them.